6-day trip to Kyoto, Nara, and Uji was largely a spot-checking type of itinerary. The tour guide was fluent in both Chinese and English and provided a lot of useful background information, cultural details, and itinerary reminders along the way, which was a big plus. This itinerary is quite good for families, with children, or elderly members who are not comfortable walking much, as transportation and routes are handled by someone else, eliminating the need to worry about transfers and schedules. However, if you want to leisurely explore and take photos at each attraction, the pace will be a bit rushed. In my experience that day, I only had time to take photos outside Todaiji Temple in Nara before rushing back to the tour bus, mainly because I spent a lot of time interacting with the deer in Nara Park. In Uji, after lunch, we had to rush to Byodoin Temple, quickly walked around, bought 2 postcards, and left. Because I have a bit of decision-making difficulties, lunch took some time, making the rest of the itinerary quite tight. As many bloggers and YouTubers have shared, Fushimi Inari Shrine is less crowded in the morning. This itinerary was for an afternoon visit, so the crowds were quite large, requiring patience for taking photos and walking around. Therefore, if you're definitely going to book this tour, I recommend doing your research on what you absolutely must see, buy, and eat beforehand, and then combining it with the tour. Overall, this itinerary is something for everyone. For me, since it was the last day of my trip, I was too lazy to plan anything myself and didn't want to worry about transportation and time management, so I opted for a day tour to handle the itinerary and transportation. From the perspective of seeing all the key attractions in one go, this was a hassle-free, efficient, and reasonable choice. In just one day, he led us through the important sites of the Kansai region, the majestic Todaiji Temple, the herds of deer in Nara Park, the tranquil town of Uji, and the approachable atmosphere of Fushimi Inari Shrine with its thousands of torii gates, all amidst the lively food stalls nearby. P.S. The itinerary included a bit too many sites, perhaps it could have been shortened and the time spent at each stop increased, allowing for a more in-depth experience and more leisurely dining. Our guide, Mr. Chen, was very friendly, explaining the history and interesting anecdotes of each site and providing precise travel time estimates, very professional. When traveling to Japan, the ideal combination is a high-efficiency tour plus independent exploration approach. First, spend a few days on a high-efficiency tour to quickly grasp the essentials, then leave a few days to leisurely experience activities that interest you personally. Fortunately, the tour guide on this trip was professional and meticulous, not only providing in-depth explanations of Japanese history but also thoughtfully recommending local delicacies, making the itinerary both fulfilling and insightful. This travel strategy is highly efficient and made the entire trip incredibly rewarding. It's definitely worth recommending. This day trip to Nara, Uji, and Fushimi Inari Shrine was a wonderful experience. Guided by Tracy, we gained a much deeper understanding of Japanese culture. Before getting off at each site, she provided explanations and thoughtful reminders. Most impressively, she explained everything in both Chinese and English, and her Japanese was incredibly fluent when communicating with the driver. I was truly impressed. Although it was a short day trip, I could feel her dedication to creating many precious experiences and memories for the travelers. She was incredibly attentive, genuine, and meticulous. 5 stars for a 3-star guide.